during my time?
It's your time. You're welcome.
Just interrupted him during my time.
You are welcome to sing. No, he was actually,
listen.
it was the end of my time. You're welcome to sing, or you can conduct poetry in iambic pentameter. You can blow a kazoo. You can do whatever you wish.
Go ahead and answer the question that you were
thank you. I'm a little lost now as to where we were, but my point was that a fossil fuel producer in a criminal trial would not be able to say, I mean, there's legal doctrine on this, right? You can say there's an intervening third party, intervening circumstances that disrupt the chain of causation. You cannot say that when the third party, their actions were completely foreseeable. Like, for example, a consumer using your product exactly as you intended. You also can't use it when you defrauded them into using your product exactly as you intended. So,
that is
with all respect, the Baltimore judge is wrong.
The company can't use that defense.
Sorry?
The company can't use that defense
right.
when it is on the delivery end of the fraud.
It's meritless in a criminal context anyway.
Yeah. And the tobacco case focused on key organizations, not everybody who smoked and gave secondhand smoke. Lawyers know how to sort through this stuff. And I think that we really do have to take the harm that is being caused by these companies and protected behind the $700 billion a year annual subsidy that Congress showers them with every year and that motivates them to be so influential and so intrusive into Congress, so involved in elections, spending so many millions of dollars in dark money and in direct money. And in the meantime, just to use the very simplest example of the articles I put into the record, here comes an insurance crisis that's already fully engaged in Florida, that is hitting southern Mississippi, southern Louisiana, southern Texas. It's hitting all the coastal states as predicted by the chief economist of Freddie Mac, not a green group, not a Chinese communist group, as predicted by that chief economist, as predicted by the chairman of the Federal Reserve, far from green, as predicted by the CEO of American Aon, as predicted by the board of Allianz, the biggest insurance company on the planet. You can make as much fun as you like of an article that Mr. Arkush wrote, but that doesn't take away from the fundamental fact that the Earth's natural systems are being badly degraded by fossil fuel, and that the fossil fuel industry knew that this would happen, and that for years, knowing that it would happen, they lied about it. They set up whole organizations to lie about it even more. They fund an entire armada of front groups whose job is to lie about it. And I do believe that it's proper to hold a corporation accountable for that kind of misconduct. Mr. Arkush.
Hey, there are two things I'd like to say. One, it does seem like we can all agree on one thing, which is that groups spending money to influence other people's behavior can be problematic. And sometimes people don't do things for the right reasons. They do things because they're getting paid, right? And there is almost nobody in the world with more resources than the fossil fuel industry to be paying people to do their bidding. And I think it's just important to note that. As Senator Whitehouse noted, one of them alone, ExxonMobil last year, almost $1 billion in profits a day. Every day, that's more than twice the amount that was on that chart that you held up, Mr. Chairman, for all the environmental groups. So, right, ExxonMobil, twice that amount every single day. That's just one of the oil companies. I'm very concerned about spending money on political influence, and it's a lot more on that side. Second, I just want to say, my understanding of this theory about China is that, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that China is ahead of the U.S. right now in manufacturing some aspects of renewable energy, right? Solar panels, batteries, ahead on critical minerals, right? And I guess the theory is, therefore they want to stifle our fossil fuels so that we're dependent on them for their renewable energy. I don't know why they'd want to stifle fossil fuels when China is like a huge buyer of U.S. oil and gas. Some of it they burn, some of it they flip. They flip a lot of the oil and gas at a profit. If we are losing a competition with China on the technologies of tomorrow, we should be investing in those technologies and funding them, right? Imagine in the late 50s and early 60s when we were worried we were losing the space race. with the Soviet Union. Imagine if instead of saying, in 1962, Kennedy saying, we're going to go to the moon by the end of this decade, he said, you know what? We're going to defund all of aeronautics and stay on the ground. Is that the way to make America strong and great? I don't think so. And I wish that you would all join the people who are trying to make America strong and great today and tomorrow by funding the industries and the energy sources of tomorrow that are cleaner, safer, and cheaper, like renewables.
Thank you to each of the witnesses.